It's a disgrace. There are women in grass skirts. It's a Roman orgy. Vance opened the door. The room was empty, save for a few dusty crates. Sterling, Vance said, his voice dropping to a dangerous register. Why are you in your pajamas? And why are you screaming about grass skirts? Mav Malone stepped forward, looking concerned. It's the fever, sir. The commander's been having these hallucinations. He sees girls everywhere. In closets, under rugs. It's a tragic case of tropical brain fizz. Archie spluttered. But they were just here. Finch, tell him. Finch, seeing the way the wind was blowing, stepped back. I think you should get back to bed, sir. You're looking very flushed. Chapter 4. The Chancellor's Daughters. A few days later, a new crisis arrived in the form of High Chancellor Kyle of the Obsidian Isles. He was a billionaire client. Titan Global was desperate to impress. He arrived with his 3 daughters, the Obsidian Princesses. I wish to see your naval prowess, Kyle declared, and my daughters wish to be entertained. Mav Malone was tasked with taking them out on the Titan. 7-3. The crew's high-speed interceptor, Pip Pringle, in an attempt to be suave, had managed to convince one of the princesses, Siri, that he was a daring elite commando. Oh, Pip. Siri cooed as the boat skipped over the waves. Tell me more about how you fought off the pirates with only a stapler. Well, Pip said, puffing out his chest, it was all in the wrist action. The trip was a disaster. The boat's engines conked out, mostly because Mav wanted to stall for time to let the crew finish setting up a secret beach party. This left Pringle stranded on a sandbar with a princess, while Archie Sterling was back at the base, slowly losing his mind. To cover for the missing princess during the formal dinner, Mav had his 3 burliest crewmen, Gruber, Virgil, and Tinker, dress in spare gowns and veils. Gentlemen, Kyle said at the dinner table, my daughters seem taller since this afternoon, and broader in the shoulder. It's the salt air, Your Highness, Mav explained. Causes local inflammation. It's very common. The princesses then proceeded to perform a traditional dance that looked more like a wrestling match. Archie, convinced he was finally witnessing a crime, jumped up and ripped the veil off Gruber. Aha, a man, an impostor. Kyle stood up, outraged. You dare touch my daughter? You dare accuse her of being a man? Gruber, playing the part, let out a high-pitched sob and ran from the room. Sterling. Vance, who was still on site, roared. Chapter 5. The Laughing Gas Gambit. The stress finally broke Archie. He developed a raging wisdom tooth infection. The base dentist, a man whose medical license was written in crayon, decided to use an experimental dose of nitrous oxide. Commander, the dentist said, this might make you feel lightheaded. Archie didn't just feel lightheaded. He felt like he was floating through a nebula of pure joy. He walked back to his office, giggling uncontrollably. Finch, Finchy Winchy, Archie chirped, pinching Finch's cheeks. I love everyone. I love Malone. I even love Pringle. Let's cancel the court-martials. Let's give everyone a raise. Mav Malone watched from the window. He's high as a kite. Quick, Pringle, get the fitness board papers. If we can get him to sign the cancellation while he's on the happy juice, you're off the hook for sinking that garbage scow last month. Pringle rushed in. Commander, sir, would you like to sign this paper? It says I'm a good boy. A good boy. The hilarity was interrupted by the arrival of the fitness board inspector, Admiral Shoemaker. He walked in to find Archie Sterling dancing on his desk with a rose in his teeth, singing a bawdy sea shanty. Binghamton, Shoemaker gasped. What is the meaning of this? Archie Winchy wants to play. Archie squealed, trying to hug the Admiral. Mav Malone stepped in. Sir, it's a religious ritual, very sacred, very hush-hush. The commander is deep in meditation. Shoemaker looked at the signed papers in Pringle's hand. Well, at least he had the sense to clear this young officer's record before he lost his mind. Carry on. Chapter 6. The Ghost of Hull 13. The crew's luck took a turn when Archie, now sober and twice as angry, decided to assign them to Hall 13, a legendary, dilapidated vessel that was rumored to be cursed. "It's a jinxed ship, Skip," Pringle whimpered as they stood on the rusting deck. The last crew vanished. "They say they were eaten by giant squids. Or taxes, one of the two." Mav Malone smiled. "If Sterling wants a ghost ship, we'll give him a ghost ship." That night, Archie and Finch were watching from the pier, hoping to see the crew fail. Suddenly, the engines of Hull 13 started on their own. Green lights began to glow from the portholes. A low, mournful wailing drifted across the water. "Archie." Finch trembled. "The boat. It's moving." "It's a trick," Archie yelled. Suddenly, a holographic figure, projected by Gruber using a stolen cinema projector, rose from the deck. It looked like a skeletal captain, Archibald Sterling. "He's talking to me," Archie screamed, falling to his knees. "I'm sorry. I'll be good. I'll stop the inspections." He ran back to his office and barricaded the door, leaving Mav and the boys to enjoy a quiet night of fishing off the haunted deck. Chapter 7. Barnaby and the Bag of Gold. The final showdown began when the base payroll, $62,000 in cash, was entrusted to Pringle for transport. Pringle, being Pringle, managed to drop the bag near the island's lagoon. "I lost it, Skip," Pringle sobbed. "I was looking at a butterfly, and then I tripped, and then a large green thing with teeth took it." The green thing was Barnaby, the base's unofficial pet saltwater crocodile. Barnaby had a penchant for shiny things and peanut butter sandwiches. He had retreated to the tall grass with the canvas bag firmly in his jaws. Archie Sterling was ecstatic. "The payroll is gone. Pringle lost it. Theft. Embezzlement. I'm calling a court-martial immediately." The trial was held in the mess hall. Archie acted as the prosecutor, judge, and in his mind, executioner. "Pip Pringle," Archie sneered. "You stole that money. You spent it on whatever it is nerds spend money on. Stamps, slide rules." "I didn't, sir," Pringle cried. "An alligator took it." "A crocodile." "Barnaby." "An alligator?" the admiral presiding over the board asked. "That is the most ridiculous defense I have ever heard." Mav Malone stood up. "Your Honor, the defense calls its key witness." The doors to the mess hall swung open. Mav and the boys pushed in a large, wheeled cage containing a very grumpy-looking Barnaby. "This is an outrage," Archie yelled. "You can't put a reptile on the stand." "He's not a witness, sir," Mav said. "He's the evidence." Mav held out a peanut butter sandwich. Barnaby opened his mouth wide. There, wedged between his back molars, was the canvas bag marked property of Titan Global Payroll. "Aha!" Pringle yelled. "See? I told you." Mav reached in very carefully and retrieved the bag. He tossed it onto the Admiral's table. "The money is all there, sir, untouched, except for some slight slobber." The Admiral looked at the bag, then at Archie. "Commander Sterling, you tried to court-martial an officer for an act of God, or at least an act of reptile. This is harassment. This is incompetence. But, Archie stammered, and Mav added, "While we were looking for the bag, we found this." Mav held up a second, smaller bag. It was full of the garter belts Archie had been hiding in his own desk to spite the nurses. The nurses in the back of the room let out a collective gasp of fury. "Sterling," the Admiral barked. "To your quarters. You're under investigation." As Archie was led away, screaming about scoundrels and jinxes, Mav Malone leaned back and lit a cigar. Pringle sat next to him, finally relaxing. "We did it, Skip," Pringle said. "The base is safe. The crew is paid. And Barnaby got his sandwich." "Yeah, Pip," Mav smiled, watching the sun set over the Azure Archipelago. "It's a tough war, but someone's gotta win it." Epilogue. A week later, a postcard arrived for Mav Malone from a remote, freezing outpost in the Arctic Circle. "Dear Malone, having a wonderful time. The polar bears are very friendly. They don't wear grass skirts.